Hello everyone, and welcome back to Chaosville, and I will be your master of horror for the evening, lying in bed on. So I'm sat in one of my chairs out here on the porch. This is technically meant to be a swinging chair, but you can't really replicate that with what we got. And I've managed to finish the majority of the roof. I still kind of want to slope it out a little bit. We still get skeletons out there from this grave. Yeah, that weirdness happens, but I fall for it anyway. So these are carpenter's blocks, which I have hammered down to being a half a size, so they look nicely as being on top of this. And everything up there is still just standard logs. I'm going to smooth out maybe with some carpenter's slopes. But we had a visitor, or a pair of visitors, a few visitors. We seem to get quite a bit of traffic this close to spawn. Yeah. This is courtesy of a pair of individuals who have as yet not released a video. But they stole one of my Chocopedias that I had over there. Since gotten a couple more, but grr. Yeah, on the server for 2 hours, and they mug me. Great. Meanwhile, back here we've gotten a few more food items. Nothing particularly special is happening around here. I've added a bit more raw beef and chicken to the fridge. We've got some raspberry bushes, blueberries, blackberries. Not really that much of an issue. Our main thing for today is we're going to build the cellar. Now, the trouble with making the cellar is that there isn't really anyone online that seems to have actually mapped it out. In Evil Dead 1, there is a big pan around from Ash as he's standing at the bottom of the stairs, all the way back to Ash as he's standing around the bottom. But no one's broken that apart into like the actual areas of the cellar, and additionally, no one has. Additionally, the scene itself is very dark, and I can't find it in particularly massive quality. So, just scrolling across the screen now, you should see the recreated panoramic of that scene that I've managed to get from just taking screens from the footage, and from that, I have managed to divine what is most likely to be the actual arrangement. So, behind the stairs, you can sort of see when Ash is coming down that there's some wood back there, so I've got a witch wood barrel here. And there's cobbles to the side of him. There's also cobbles at the far wall. And judging from where it appears relative to the starting point with Ash, there is the door to the second room in the cellar dead ahead of the stairs, which makes sense. But there's also an area off to the side here. There's a boiler where this chest and torch would be. There's a little shelf here with a glass on it. There's a surprising number, actually, of window frames in that cellar. I'm not exactly sure why that is. But this needs to go forward a couple more blocks, and then we can get to work a bit more. Actually, this needs to go forward quite a few more blocks, because he spends some time walking across it. And I've also made this 3 blocks tall. Probably parts of this will only be 4 blocks tall, because, as you see in the same scene, and especially later when Ash returns to the cellar, there is a few pipes running across the ceiling and stuff, presumably going to the boilers to carry the heating around, but later they burst out with blood, so that's fun. So I'm going to have some fun with that later, I can imagine. Let's dig this out, and this will be the main area, which is mostly just full of random junk. I'm probably going to put a bunch of different stuff from different mods down here. Probably the Bibliocraft printing press will come down here at some point. But beyond that, I'm not entirely positive. So you come down here. Oh, yes, up here. I couldn't get this slope next to this without it impeding the action of actually getting up here. So I replaced it with a hatch, and I've just made it act like an iron door and match the flooring. So you can see the handle down here, but you can't open it at all. And meanwhile, it allows us to have this nice curve that's coming down. That looks fantastic, I think. So the doorway should be around the middle, judging by its positioning with everything else. It's mostly just got bric-a-brac and stuff next to it. And this section needs to be cobble as well. And then we've got a nice sort of like birchy wooden door, I think, needs to go here. And then behind here is a fairly small, I would say, area. Because Ash takes one look to the left and decides he's going to go right. You get the view as he's coming through the doorway, and you're sort of panning along as he's sort of like that, and the camera passes behind a bunch of different junk and such. But this is probably a fair distance this way. Because it includes there's a fair bit of time spent going that way. So I can presume that that's like a workshop at the back here, and this is sort of just main storage. Oh no, an empty. So let's dig a couple more blocks this way. And let's also go look at least one more block this way. I think our shovel's about to break. Now, down here I'm going to be moving my storage, so I'll hide it behind the walls somewhere. I won't say where on camera, just in case someone decides to come and mug me again. Okay, so I need some of this rhyolite cobblestone, which isn't much different to regular cobblestone, but it has this nice sort of greenish colour, and some of this eclogite would be fantastic for the flooring here, I think. So I might mine some of that up. And, oh yes, that is also a carpenter's ladder. We have a lot of carpenter's blocks around here, they're fantastic for building. This is where my stuff is presently. It ain't going to be staying here for very long. Big and tiny. Right, there we go. Yes, I do have over a stack of it. Good. So we just go down here. Okay, there's some sand under here. I don't quite know why that is. I don't think there's ever been any water around here, and you saw my first episode. I built this on what used to be a forest, so I don't know why that's there. But yeah, it looks like the cobble sections were used as sort of support, and the actual area of the cellar itself isn't that large. It is made to seem a lot larger in the course of Evil Dead 2, when Ash comes down here with his newly procured chainsaw and shotgun to get the pages of the Necronomicon back. Now, let's go and get a door. Don't need the green shoot yelling. We need a carpenter's door. I don't have any more carpenter's blocks. So let's grab a bunch of them. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And we'll do 3, 4, 5, 6. Done. Carpenter's door. And a bit of birch to colour it. It's ghostly white. Ooh, we need to get rid of that with something else, don't we? There isn't much echologite, it seems. We'll steal it where we can. I guess I'll have to get a bit more of this, but that's fine. Honestly, after a while, I'm definitely going to look into sort of mosaicing most of the flooring around here, so that it actually ends up being a bit less plain. So we'll have like pieces of witchwood interspersed with the oak wood planks upstairs and such. But meanwhile, let's shove some of this eclogite, because I've missed out eclogite, yeah. Cobblestone. Okay, charcoal. And let's just smelt it in here, I think. No? Can't do it. I'm not 100% certain what we can put into the witch's oven just yet, but that is our next thing, because the witch's oven, it comes from the witchery mod, and it deals with a bunch of sort of, how should I put this? Shamanistic kind of magic, so ritual circles and the like. So it has some fun stuff in there, and we're going to investigate that to sort of spruce up the house and the surrounding area to make it seem that extra bit creepy. So I think one of the things that it includes is there we go. Oh, and just off to my side here, I've got a pop-out view of Dragon Hat's stream, which he's presently doing. So I'm just going to answer a question for him. He gets force ingots from smelting force ore. We don't tend to see those much in the wild. A little hard to come by. I'm looking for the hammer. There we go. So that I can change the style of this door. There we go, that looks nice. I'm not exactly... I need to put a shelf up here. I think we have a spare one hanging around from when I replaced some of these with bookshelves. Yes, there we are, an oak shelf. That can go back... That can go next to our boiler spot around here. We'll put some glasses in there. Obviously, I'll tear... This is right on the border of the building, so I might tear it out a little bit. Or I'll pull it forward a bit, I don't know, so it's... So this whole section here with the chests and stuff is replaced by solid wall, but I don't know how that will affect the overall look. Right now, this looks pretty creepy already, which is pretty good. That's a good sign. Let's get this back a bit more. And back here is where the audio tape of the researcher looking at the Necronomicon is found, as well as the book itself. A particularly ornate dagger in the first movie to boot. Okay, let us get rid of this sand. This is dolomite at the back here. That was quite... That was very smooth, actually. Okay, let's get rid of this. Now, in the course of Evil Dead 2, part of the cellar gets flooded and becomes very muddy. So, as soon as I've isolated this place from becoming grassy, I'll definitely have some dirt blocks interspersed in the flooring, so it looks... the part a bit better. Oh yes, and this is where I've been storing my witchery supplies for later. So I've got some belladonna flowers, got some mandrake root, which is a pain to fight, because you plant the root, which apparently I don't have any more seeds for, and it grows up, and then if you don't harvest it at night, and seemingly on a random chance, it will create a small mandrake creature, which you have to kill to get the root, and that thing screams bloody murder, and gives you nausea, of all things. Okay, what have we got? We've got shale, nice, lots of migmatite. We don't appear to have any more egglite. And the migmatite looks way too dark. So I'll look into that later. So let's have a look at printing press then, shall we? Because I know that is a thing. There we are, printing press. So, requires a blaze rod. Okay, guess we're not getting that today then. But we're gonna have a whole bunch of stuff down here, I think. Well, I'm not gonna go on a mining trip, that's for sure, because I don't particularly like going on mining trips during planned content like this. Oh, and this wall should definitely finish up with more rhyolite, which I am carrying. Good. There's a lot of the cobble into here, which I presume is for keeping things sturdy and stable. Now, of course, the majority of the series, the cellar is used as a place to contain one zombie or another, or one possessed, deadite-possessed corpse or another. And I will look at the footage a bit closer and see exactly what all of these back room walls are. Of course, we have no idea what this wall looks like because the camera's back is to it whilst Ash is moving through and then gets scared out by Scotty. The utter douche who, watching Evil Dead 1, you're very glad when he meets his end. And he totally deserves it. But yeah, that is looking pretty nice. Let's head up here, take a look down. Let's take out the torches just for a little comparison. Okay, so it's still fairly bright because of that. And yeah, that looks uninviting, to say the least. It will probably look a bit more if we didn't have all this light around. So let's get rid of those. I'm going to put up some actual official lights around here. Lanterns and stuff, and yeah, that looks like a place to keep your daughter for 20 years. Ooh, that's a dark reference. I'm surprised I made that one. Okay. Oh yes, if you haven't heard the news, Nifty came back from the army early, due to medical issues, which I won't divulge unless he particularly wants people to know them. Since we're down here, and since I don't have the materials to continue this just yet, let's actually look at what we need to start off with witchery. So, I have the oven. I know that makes stuff. There's the kettle, which I don't know where I'd stick that. There's also this distillery, which I think needs to be powered by an altar. Oh, okay, Breath of the Goddess. How do we get that? Watch his oven with birch saplings, okay. I don't know that we have any birch saplings. Because I haven't gotten that much birch. We have 2 birch saplings. Okay, so they need to go into the witch's oven. Is there anything else? Yes, clay jars. Okay, well, I've got plenty of clay. Okay, so that gets us those, and we'll stick those into our furnace, which I need to upgrade at some point. But for the moment, no, oh, balls, I just burned one of my saplings. Grr. Complete misclick. Okay, eclogite. 6 pieces. Let's pattern that through here. Just smatterings. Make it look like it's part of the place. Good. And there's dolomite back here. A fair bit of dolomite, actually. Oh, and some more eclogite. Oh, okay, so that's just lag. That's good. I thought that it didn't actually come back as an object for a moment there. Okay, smatter it about a bit. If there is actually like a mud kind of, if there is actually a mud block that you can sink in a little bit or impede your speed, other than the obvious idea, which is soul sand, I might actually use that around here as well. Okay, so that, yeah, so dolomite doesn't come back as a cobblestone, that's interesting. That is a little bit on the unusual side of things. Some there. There. It's something a little bit crisscross there, but it seems to be okay. Okay, so we have the one sapling for this now. I could go and get some more, I guess. There's a fair few birch trees around, but they don't look particularly properly placed. By the way, witchwood. I chopped down a bunch of witchwood saplings to get a bunch of witchwood logs and stuff, and I got a bunch of these witchwood saplings back. They don't take bone meal, so I don't know how they grow. So if anyone wants to explain that to me, please, because I'm really not very familiar with Ars Magica. But meanwhile, let's grab some birchwood. Okay, so Andy's presently playing around on his little stream here where he's getting some different pieces of work around his new house going. Andy's living in a volcano pretty far east, I believe, which is that way. Whoa, hello, how are you? You are very annoying, actually. Now, I saw VG Toolbox's first episode, and for those who don't know, I am presently maintaining a master playlist of all Chaosville Season 2 videos, from the prologue to the present day, so if you get, if you fall a little behind on everyone, you can catch up by there. Oh, and, before I forget, there is Mandrake, there's Beldar. Look quite nice. The Mandrake is almost a bit of a troll, because if people are just running around whacking at stuff, they'll probably break it and summon a Mandrake, which is really irritating little things. Anyways. Okay, so nothing just yet. There's also the world's smallest Eyrie over here. I don't know exactly what Eyries do, but they don't seem to be doing much, so no room for complaining, I guess. Yeah, pretty much of all of the mods inside of Resonant Rise, I am least familiar with Ars Magica 2, but I may get more involved with it, since apparently it's a popular thing on the server, though I generally try to avoid things that people are doing on a regular basis. Oh yes, that reminds me, speaking of mods I'm not particularly familiar with, I have an idea, I think, of how to get pipes in the cellar full of blood. Because there's a mod called Blood Magic, and if you use it, you can get a bucket of your own blood, which you can then place down like any other liquid. If I seriously just gone for one sapling back from that. Oh, no, because there's 3 more hiding up here. Which would probably just been lost if I hadn't jumped up there because of this other tree next to it. Yeah, you can get it as a liquid, so I figure I don't know exactly just yet, I haven't tested it out. I figure I can probably get a bucket of my blood, or a bucket of someone's blood at the very least, and put that into some pipes, which I can just stick together on a cyclical route, so they just go backwards and forwards or some such, and have them be running along the ceiling of the cellar, so that if someone does break them, of course, unfortunately in the pipe systems, things don't just splurge out when they're liquids, they just sort of stop. But it will be effectively like when the pipe finally bursts above Ash's head and he gets showered in something's blood. Probably human blood, because the Deadites seem to go for that. There's a little geesel. Oh yeah, that little thing there, it's called a Tama root, that's also from Ars Magica, and I don't really have much use for it. I know it's made I know it's used in some sigils, but by and large, it looks fairly nice, and I might just start planting it around the area if I can, just because it sort of adds to the slightly abandoned, overgrown look of the place. The forest itself has the least known detail, so anything I can do to make it look the part, the better, really. Okay. Oh, dawn is approaching. Hurrah. Send the Deadites to sleep again. Phew. Okay, is there more in here? I want at least 8, really, don't I? For efficiency. So far I have 6. But I'm gonna work on this, and then next episode, I'll show you the progress I've made with the cellar. I'll see about getting some more furniture into the living room at least, and we can make a start on the witch room to start creeping things up a bit. So, with that, I have been your Master of Horror for the day, and I shall catch you all next time. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and or a favourite. Follow me on Twitter and subscribe to be notified of future updates. You can also check out the website where most other content is uploaded. That's all for now, catch you later.